Hey guys, Orca, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2. Let's carry on where we left off. We've just heard the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help Lord Strongheart. But have we? There's still a couple loose ends lying around, I think, but Strongheart has effectively confessed to being the Reaper of the Bailey, abusing the legend started by Lord Clint Van Zeeks, who was the original professor. Holy shit. I did not see that coming. I don't know why I didn't see it coming. I was completely tunnel visioned on Strongheart being responsible for all those killings and pinning it on Genshin Isogi, who actually did kill Van Zeeks out of vigilanteism because Strongheart wasn't going to indict one of the more noble people in London society. But there's still the remaining question of who actually killed Genshin Isogi. I think that's what's going to put Strongheart away for good, because right now it doesn't look like he's killed anyone, but he must have killed someone, right? We gotta pin this guy down. So let's go after him with everything we've got. After a moment's silence as we take in what we just learned. I already done this because it's the next day after recording the previous episode, and goodness me, I had a good night's sleep. Alright. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, I do hereby confess. It was I who sired the concept of the Reaper. Well, I suppose there's the confession right there. He's said the words. However, let me say in my defense, it was all for the preservation of law and order across the entire empire. You've said that. Quite a few times, in fact. I think it's your tagline. Lord Strongheart did it? An unforgivable collection of crimes, but still. All those who died at the Reaper's hand were rotten to the core anyway. Oh, great. It was all in aid of keeping London safe. He's playing up to his goodwill. There is no one left now who can reveal the precise truth of what happened 10 years ago. Therefore, this trial can go no further. We still need to resolve who killed Genshin Isogi. And why he wasn't just executed in the first place. What changed? Did you think he had found the confession or something that Van Zeeks had signed before his death? Now I would like to entreat all those present. Beyond these four walls, nobody need know the truth. Even Her Majesty must be protected from this. Oh yes, we're definitely not telling the Queen about your little silly side hustle. I trust you all appreciate the importance of my request. It is of course for the good of the country. Well, I'm not from this country. Can he do this? Can the trial really end now?
Hold it!
Someone's not satisfied. And I think I know why. I have one last question. For the accused, Lord Van Zeeks. What? My entire life has been upheaved! Poor guy. Of course, I know that you're highly accomplished. You're a highly accomplished prosecutor. So I find it hard to believe that you didn't have any doubts at all. That you never suspected your older brother. Well, Ryunosuke did have that same question. Yes, the same thought occurred to me. It was only once, but yes, I couldn't say that I never had my doubts. No. My brother's sense of justice was extremely strong. Perhaps too strong, I observed. At that time, there were members of the aristocracy who were bleeding the country dry for their own gain. And since they were nobles, they were untouchable. For my brother, it was a source of great turmoil. Oh, also, I just realized that collar that we saw. That was the treasure, I think. That was in Case 2, and I was always wondering, I was like, why did we go through Case 2, and what was so important about it, and somehow I completely blocked it out of my mind until now. So, there we go. Answers that question. And coincidentally, at the same time, the professor began his terrifying reign. During the time of the professor killings, my brother did not appear to be himself. And that made you suspect? Yes. But it was only once, not more. Okay. Only once? Really? Clint wasn't the culprit. That was my conclusion at the time. And I still believe that now. Do you have any evidence to support that idea? The third victim was the Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who had recognized my brother's potential and trained him as a prosecutor. Ooh, okay, so he took out his own mentor. Interesting. That's like Phoenix killing Mia. No matter what the circumstances, it's unthinkable that my brother could have killed his friend and mentor. I see. That will do. So are you saying, perhaps, that there was another killing that wasn't attributed to the professor? Right? Is that what we're going with? But I think everyone except for Clint himself was killed by a dog bite, right? To that throat. So how does that compute? Maybe the other guilty party also had a dog. Neither Clint Van Zieks nor Genshin Isogi still walk this earth. However much we debate this matter now, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion. But there are only two extant pieces of evidence from the time. The woebegone ring that acted as the incriminating evidence to condemn Genshin Isogi, and the 3-paged last will and testament penned in black ink and left behind by the man. The wretched truth of what happened is exactly as I have explained. Unless we see this confession for ourselves, right? There might be something different there. Maybe he'll be like, I only killed 2 people. The Lord Chief Justice, I don't know who killed this person. And it turns out it was Strongheart! Or something of the sort. Later today, I will present myself at the Ministry of Justice for whatever sanction is deemed appropriate. But we all know I'm gonna walk because I'm just that popular. That is all. Court is adjourned. Where's the objection? Where's the hold it?
Objection!
There we go. Sorry, guys, to prolong this trial further. Thank you, Cosma. Me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made this 11th hour discovery. What discovery? My lord, I'm afraid I must insist the trial continues. I beg your pardon. That's also his tagline. That and Law and Order. As the court has been reminded today already, we must stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth. And to that end, one particular statement made by somebody in this courtroom moments ago revealed a very subtle contradiction. Oh, great. I missed it. What contradiction? But all I did was ask the accused one simple question. Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, it began with Lord Van Zieks and his recollection about his brother. But Lord Strongheart didn't permit the defendant to speak at length. I merely pointed out that we can draw no further useful conclusions here. So where on earth is the contradiction? One of them definitely just said something contradictory. It's time to identify who. I don't know, man. How would I know? Nothing really came to mind. Do I need to go all the way back? How far can I go? The third victim was the Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who had recognized my brother's potential, trained him as a prosecutor. No matter what the circumstances, it's unthinkable that my brother could have killed his friend and mentor. That will do. Is that the contradiction? That neither Clint Van Zieks nor Genshin Isogi still walk this earth? There are only 2. Oh. It has to be this, right? There's still the missing will and testament penned by Van Zieks himself. So let's go with Strongheart here. It was Lord Strongheart, I'm sure of it. Something he said was slightly off. Come on, Ryunosuke. Think back over his words, find the problem. I think I've done it. Neither Clint Van Zieks nor Genshin Isogi still walk this earth. Good, I was in the right area. However much we debate this matter now, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion. There are only 2 extant pieces of evidence from the time. The woebegone ring that acted as the incriminating evidence to condemn Genshin Isogi, and the 3-paged last will and testament penned in black ink and left behind by the man. I think it was the penned in black ink that kind of like sprung to mind. Lord Strongheart, would you care to explain? Explain what, Counsel? Among the statements you made just a few moments ago, something you said was inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence we have. Inconsistent? Oh, do you have it? Somewhere. Or why would he keep it, actually? Did you burn it? Did you get rid of it? Did you find Clint's lost will and you just threw it into a fireplace somewhere? And whilst an inconsistency remains, the defense has a right to pursue an explanation. Ryunosuke, what? Let me warn you about the statements you are making, Counsel. They may very well prove fatal. Okay, well, since you just confessed to be the Reaper of the Bailey, that sentence carries a whole lot more weight. You claim my words contained a contradiction. With which piece of evidence, I ask you? Do I just present this?
Take that!
This here is the will left behind by Mr. Asogi. The 2-paged will. Oh! I got it completely wrong. He said 3 pages, didn't he? Yes. Go back, go back. The 3-paged Lost Will and Testament. Oh my god, I completely forgot. I was like, oh, I thought it was the fact that Van Zeke's confession must be around somewhere. So I got there in the end, but the wrong route. Yet moments ago, your precise words were the 3-paged Lost Will and Testament. What the hell does that mean? Ugh. I can't believe you were so specific about it. And I was concentrating on the black ink too instead of the 3-page. Oh man, that is embarrassing. But we got there in the end, so I can't complain. Could it be that originally there was a 3rd page? Fuck. For a moment, I thought perhaps you'd identified something worthwhile, but it's a mere trifle, I see. A trifle? You know what we do with trifles? Governor Caden! Eh? What can I do for you, sir? You were present when the Japanese man penned his last will and testament. Aye, I was there for sure. I remember the black worm-like scrawls to this day. And I'm quite certain, my lord, that there was a 3rd page at the time. Stop. No, that's incorrect. What? Only the first 2 pages were the actual will, though. If I mind correctly, the 3rd was a message to his lad back in Japan. For legal purposes, we required only his will. I see. And we wouldn't have wanted any uncomfortable words about Britain to get back to Japan, eh? So it was decided that the 3rd page oughtn't to be sent. It was a letter to his boy. He had no right to do that.
Objection!
How dare you make that decision? I had a right to know what it said, to hear my father's final words to me. The courtroom is no place for sentimentality, Counsel. As it happens, I have the 3rd page of the document with me here now. Oh, how convenient. My father's message. It will be given to you at the end of these proceedings. It'll be too late once the trial is over. We need to know what it says now. Even the slightest thing may give us a vital clue. My lord, the defense calls for Genshin Isogi's last words to his son to be read out loud before the court now. Your request is denied. The inevitably maudlin words can be of no consequence now. So then there's no reason not to read it.
Objection!
The prosecution agrees. The court should know the content of that message. You really ought to specify who you agree with, Cosmo. Every possible piece of evidence must be thoroughly examined. Very well then, Governor Caden. You will read the 3rd page of the document for all present to hear. Yes, sir. Only, I should point out, my lord, it's in Japanese. That I cannot actually read worm language. This beautiful handwriting. Shame on you, Barry. Oh, there it is. If I could be of assistance here, I would be happy to translate the words into English for the court. Father! You're still here, are you, Dr. Mikatoba? I thought I would have scrubbed any trace of your existence by now. Naturally, I consider myself a member of the judiciary, albeit a lowly one. But perhaps I should quietly withdraw after I've translated Genshin's message. Uh-oh. Your cooperation is much appreciated. Here it goes. Let's hear it. There's gotta be something vital in there. Kazuma, the truth is shrouded in darkness. A darkness only our clan's great sword can pierce. Mighty Karuma, twist thy head and watch them fall. All thy mortal foes. That's the end of the message, it would seem. A haiku poem. Twist thy head? I wonder what this means. Father. What is Karuma? The name of the Asogi clan's famous sword. A razor-sharp blade known to all, passed down for generations. It embodies the Japanese spirit. It's not known to me. Okay, well, you're not from Japan, Renzik, so thank you for your 2 cents. It's the katana sword that was submitted as evidence earlier in these proceedings. The one worn by the prosecution counsel when he confronted Inspector Gregson. The details of the Asogi papers have been updated in the court record. The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi that Mr. Vigil claims disappeared. It seems there was a 3rd page to it. When am I allowed to twist thy head, I wonder? All these procrastinations are beginning to try my patience. Adjournment of this court is long overdue. As the presiding judge, I have been as accommodating as possible of the will of the courtroom. However, despite all that, no new information has come to light. In pursuit of justice, Lord Clint Van Zieks tragically lost all sense of morality. When he murdered his former mentor, clearly he was already devoid of his normal faculties.
Objection!
How dare you! I refuse to believe that of my brother! Too much time has passed. We cannot ever hope to know more than we do now. In fact, I'm going to come up with a law called Statute of Limitations. Especially since the alleged will that he penned in his final moments appears to have been lost forever. Until now, I guess you didn't tuck it into a fireplace after all. It's still in here. Damn it. I'm not allowed to examine it, I think, until the appropriate time. Ah! Lord Strongheart, you appear to be in something of a hurry to wrap things up. I wonder why. We've heard you state time and again during these proceedings that everything you did was in the interests of protecting British law and order. And I stand by that. Without the Reaper, we could never have achieved the reduction in crime the capital has seen.
Objection!
What about Inspector Gregson, then? And Dr. Wilson? They were no criminals. You used them to achieve your ends, and then you had them killed. However you dress it up, there was nothing fair or just about that. Lord Strongheart, come on. He's guilty of murder, for goodness sake. What exactly is it that you're hiding? He's not hiding that smile. Dr. Mikatoba, were you not to quietly withdraw after the translation of your former associate's will? In this courtroom, no argument carries weight unless it is supported by evidence. And it would seem that the defense has no more evidence to present. Don't I? In which case, I hereby order all discourse from these proceedings to be struck from the record. This is my last chance. Mr. Naruhodo, I have to present some decisive evidence now, or it's all over. But can I? Present evidence. I have to. I can't wait and see. Wait, my lord. As it happens, the defense does have evidence to present. Oh, there we go. Here's my theme. Don't be absurd. There is nothing of relevance remaining from the time.
Objection!
It's high time that you realize something, my lord. This gentleman has an uncanny habit of producing evidence at the final hour that had escaped everyone else's attention. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just... It's so nice hearing Van Zeke's backhand compliment me, you know? He's like, this man is a nuisance, but god damn it, he always produces the right stuff at the right time. Nonsense. What is it, Ryunosuke? What do you have? I dare say. The final, decisive piece of evidence. That will reveal the whole truth about this rotten tale. How can you... Decisive? Well, it would appear there's no escaping it now, my lord. Let it be so, then. Present whatever you think you have that can settle this decade-old enigma. If you're capable. At least it's just a one-life penalty. Not like freaking Trials and Tribulations is ending, where you go all in. What exactly is this evidence that the defense claims to be so decisive? I'm just going to present Kuruma right now.
Take that!
What did I say, counsel? If you're capable were my words. Oh, was I too early? And this evidence clearly demonstrates you're not. You're capable only of destroying your own argument. Oh, really? Come on, Ryunosuke. We know that Asogi-san negotiated with Lord Strongheart 10 years ago, using the last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks as bargaining power. And yet, after his death, that document couldn't be found in his cell at the prison. So, does the fact that it was never found mean... Could it still be hidden somewhere, undiscovered after all these years? Oh my god, I can't believe it has! And yet, I wasn't able to. Maybe I just primed it. Maybe I need to unsheath it first. Oops. Okay, let's try again. Kuruma, the Great Blade, it's such a thing of beauty. Ah, up here. Okay, there we go. Mighty Kuruma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. That's the proper way to use the sword, is it? Maybe I should try it. It hurts my neck, that's the trouble. Mr. Naruhodo, if I might make a suggestion? Not your head. I think perhaps it doesn't mean your head. Oh, I once studied the history and development of the katana some time ago. Of course you have. As I'm sure you're probably aware, the sword's head is the part at the very end of the hilt. It's written as head in Japanese, but it's pronounced as kashira, I believe. Kashira? So Mr. Osogi's words really mean twist the butt of the hilt. You don't think... Ah! What do you know? Look what's inside it! Is that a tightly wound sheet of parchment? It's in red! Scarlet ink! It's written in scarlet ink! I penned this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. Willing death? This is it, isn't it? I mean, yes, we assumed it was willing. What happened? Mr. Naruhodo, look at the signature at the end! Clint Van Zeeks. And the date. 10 years ago, on that fateful night! So for 10 years, it's been silently concealed inside Kuruma and nobody knew. The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks! Wait. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Oh my god, I need to read it right now! The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks has been hidden inside the great sword Kuruma for years, a trump card left behind by Genshin Asogi, his last weapon. Okay. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to see it! Damn it! I guess I present it. My lord, the defense does have that evidence, and I'm ready to present it now that I've twisted thy head. Well, it seems you're intent on more self-destruction. No, I only just kind of destructed the sword. Let it be so, then. Present whatever you think you can settle this decade-old enigma. Gladly. It's decisive, all right.
Take that!
There is a single piece of evidence that can clarify what really happened 10 years ago. The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Ha! A wonderfully astute observation, I'm sure. But in case it had escaped your notice, that document was lost long ago. Now he's gonna think I fabricated this. He's like, where the hell did you get that? You just wrote that on the bench, didn't you? That's right. It was. Only... I have it right here. Discovered just moments ago, conveniently. What? Impossible! That can't be! Everything that's happened comes back to this will. This document is the key that will unlock the entire mystery. Oh shit! He's panicked. He's panicking. My brother's last will and testament. Where did you find that? It was rolled up inside this. Inside Kuruma. That ultimate weapon Genshin Asogi obtained has lain undisturbed in the hilt of this sword all these years, just waiting for the right time to emerge and reveal the truth. The signature and seal certainly look official. Oh, the seal, of course. I kind of forged it. There you go. The Van Zeek's coat of arms. My god, it's true. It's my brother's handwriting. There can be no mistake. And Van Zeek's verified the handwriting. I can see Lord Strongheart's face. I forbid the contents of that document from being read out. Do you hear me? I strictly forbid it.
Objection.
You can't do that, my lord. This document could explain everything. That document could literally destroy the meaning of justice in this country. I demand that you hand it to me at once. Why? What are you trying to hide? What's on it? Could it be that you already know what's written on this page? Of course he does, because Genshin tried to leverage his escape. What are you implying? Court is adjourned with immediate effect. Clear the courtroom.
Objection.
Oh, no, we're not getting past that leg. Do that, my lord, and you'll suffer a fatal blow as Lord Chief Justice. I beg your pardon. Forcibly ending a trial without good reason. And not any trial, a closed trial by order of Her Majesty the Queen. To defy the monarch's will is treason. Ugh. Oh shit. Lord Van Zix really did pin a will that day. It's exactly as the young Japanese man said. Read it out, now. We have a right to hear what's in that will. A right and a duty. Well, my lord. It would rather appear as though proceedings aren't going to go quite as you'd hoped. The Mikatoba smile. You fools! Go ahead, Ryunosuke. Read it. The prosecution gives its full support. Very well then. No! For God's sake! He's sobbing, he's crying! No! Holy shit, what's going on? Oh my god! I pen this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. The hour is 11 p.m., and I sit at my writing desk in my office. My good friend Asogi stands at my shoulder. He has expressed his intent to invoke the dying ritual of the duel, that I may depart this world with honor. Oh right, of course, indicative of a duel! Ah, that was on his autopsy report. Not that autopsy report. This one. The superficial external wound. So he dueled Asogi. And that's why, I guess it was willing, because he challenged him? An honor of which I am utterly undeserving. The Japanese are a truly merciful people. Whew. I, Clint Van Zeeks, Lord of the Manor of the Van Zeeks Estate, hereby confess to the following. I am the killer who has come to be known in society as the Professor, guilty of 4 counts of murder. Okay, so he did kill the Lord Chief Justice then. I will not here discourse the corruption rife among the aristocracy, for which is to me, as one of them, so apparent. However, 6 months ago, I took the life of a member of the House of Lords at the heart of the depravity. A demon who habitually sacrificed the common man to further his own interests, abusing his position of power. The law is impotent against such vile avarice. Only a fellow demon can rid society of this menace. I see. There it is. The demon was my quarry, upon whom I willingly set my great hound. But though I am a hunter of some experience, I am a poor felon, it seems. My guilt was at once recognized by another, and I became subject to his extortion. He held over me the threat of exposing my wicked crime to my beloved wife and brother. Under that threat, I have done this man's bidding for months now, killing those he demanded I kill. That man's name? I wonder who. As I watched my former mentor perish before my eyes at the jaws of the hound I commanded, I realized that I had lost the last shred of decency within me, and sunk to the level of a wild beast. There is no path back to the light, be it I or my dear friend Asogi who dies this night. I am eternally damned. To my extortioner, male Strongheart, may you feel the jaws of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. We got him. I won't say caught in 4K. Why is he smiling? Why are you smiling? You shouldn't be smiling. That's illegal right now. So now we know. Yes, Clint Van Zeeks was a murderer. But somebody was directing him and naming his victims. His extortioner, Lord Male Strongheart. It was you! He was panicking a moment ago, now he's all calm. What's going on? Did he snort a line or something? Lord Strongheart, a moment ago. You claimed that what the court has just heard could destroy justice in this country. But you weren't trying to protect justice at all. All you were trying to do was protect yourself. Was conceal the secret of your true nature and the countless lives you've sacrificed up until now. Or has he just gone mad? It just didn't make sense to me. That the third victim, the former Lord Chief Justice, was my brother's benefactor and a man of lofty principles. As I said, Clint had no possible reason to kill the man. But you did, didn't you, Lord Strongheart? To eliminate the man who stood between you and the office you'd set your sights on. So you used your own hunting dog, Lord Clint Van Zeeks, to take him down. It had to be done. Wow. Wow. London's unsavory shadows are deep, and the arm of the law fails to reach their depths. Why do you think I've been referred to as Long Strongheart? It wasn't my penis. Crime must be cut off at the roots, but the Lord Chief Justice at the time couldn't see that. He was weak. Lofty principles, you say? Tantamount to cowardice, if you ask me. I'm the only one who had the balls, which is why I took his place. In order to fight the crime he was allowing to spread like wildfire. By murdering the man. The Reaper, the Professor, the name makes no difference. Jeez, you've been assuming many names, haven't you? As I've explained countless times already, it was all done for the furtherance of law and order in London. But did you need to murder the Lord Chief Justice? Couldn't you have done something else?
Objection.
Are you going to legitimize the murder of my father now, too? Ah, Genshin Asogi. Well, that was unfortunate. I had fully intended to send him back to Japan as we'd agreed. I don't believe you! It was you, wasn't it? You killed him! No, it wasn't me who took your father's life. Someone else doing your bidding, was it? On a technicality you're getting away with it? Then who? On the night following his mock execution, I went to Lowgate Cemetery at 3 in the morning with Jigoku. Judge Jigoku? There had to be a collaborator on the Japanese side to manage Asogi's treatment after his repatriation. Jigoku had fierce ambition. It made him easy to manipulate. No. No. You're shitting me. 10 years ago, after he'd stood trial for the destruction of the witness stand, I had words with him. When I told him the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs could be his, he couldn't agree fast enough. He fucking killed Asogi for the Minister of Foreign Affairs position? Seishiro, you fool. As you know, Asogi escaped the prison in a closed casket and was subsequently interred. But you just said you had every reason to transport him back to Japan. We intended to dig him out of his grave before he ran out of air. But sadly, all did not go to plan. Ah! Oh. There was an unexpected visitor to the cemetery with his own ideas about digging up graves. A man who witnessed what nobody was supposed to see. That's what changed. Because Drebber saw it, they had no choice but to kill him. Enoch Drebber. But why not kill Drebber? Why not kill both? Of course I knew grave robbers frequented London cemeteries. But that grave on that particular night... Blast! If people find out the convict wasn't really executed, the scandal will rock the very foundations of the Empire. Then what do we do? Shoot him, Mr. Jigoku! Shoot Asogi at once! He can't live now that this has happened. He has to go! What are you talking about? You had an agreement. You promised him you could return to Japan. Everything has changed now. If the truth got out because of this, both of us would be finished. Forever. I can't believe it. He used, like, the panic of time. Like, he didn't have time to think. It was either shoot him now or forever hold your peace. Come on, Jigoku, do it! Pull the trigger! Shoot! Son of a bitch. But I don't understand why they left Drebber alive, too. Jigoku shot Asogi from the shadows. The grave robber was so close the blood sprayed over his coat. He fled as fast as his legs would carry him. Then Jigoku and I put Asogi's body back in the grave from which he had just emerged. When I later learnt of the waxwork modeler's presence at the scene as well, I made her swear to two things. Never to remove the professor's mask, and never to speak of the events of that night. And with that, the secret was buried along with Asogi's corpse. Still, you had no trouble murdering a bunch of other people. Why did you leave Drebber and Madame Tussspells alive? Interesting. So, now you know what really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night. That is the truth. So help me God, and there's nothing else. I'm going to adjourn the court now. Can I do that? Jigoku, that motherfucker. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I thought he was nice. I thought he was alright. It was Jigoku, your Japanese acquaintance, who killed Asogi in the end, you see. He claimed to be the man's friend, but when push came to shove, he pulled the trigger. Under your influence too, you know. You're culpable as well. Just before Mr. Jigoku left the courtroom earlier, he said that the assassin exchange proposal was a demand from his British counterpart, not a request. Right. So he held that over his head too! Strongheart had everyone dancing in the palm of his hand, so you coerced him to using what happened in the graveyard. By that time, Jigoku was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, negotiating international treaties with Britain. You played him like a damn fiddle. You can imagine what would have happened if it came to light he'd murdered a compatriot 10 years earlier. He would have lost everything. I merely reminded him of that. How do you sleep at night? Well, I do feel a pretty sharp pain every time I swallow. Like a baby. These past 10 years I've fought tirelessly with the darker recesses of London's criminal underworld. And I've used whatever means necessary to ensure that justice prevails and law and order reign supreme.
Objection!
That couldn't be further from the truth. The fact is, you haven't fought crime at all. How dare you! I saved Clint Van Zieks from dishonor and his death!
Objection!
Whilst behind the scenes, you systematically buried anyone who stood in your way. And then, you made my father take the blame. It was unavoidable. It was the only way to protect our justice system and public order. Let's not forget the others you had killed as well. Setting the defendant up as the Reaper to cover up the truth behind the murders of countless more. That's enough! Do you have any idea of the conniving that led to the acquittals of those wretched criminals? We have to fight fire with fire. Our courts can't function without a Reaper. Can't you see all I've done for this country? This has been my struggle!
Objection!
You've done nothing. It's Lord Van Zieks here who worked tirelessly and justly in court, whilst enduring the disgrace of the Reaper name. Oh. Oh. And Inspector Gregson, fraught with anguish for having sullied his hands through a desire to do the right thing. Not to mention Genshin Asogi, who risked his life going in pursuit of the truth you tried to hide. No, the darker recesses of London's underworld were largely filled by you. You little... When will you get it through your thick skulls? That it was all for Queen and country. I'm tiring of that excuse. You've consistently twisted the truth for bargaining power to make others do your bidding. Nothing more. People who willingly twist the truth and coerce others have no right to call themselves part of the judiciary. I strongly suggest you don't ever talk of justice again. Oh god. Everyone's witnessing this. I don't think we can keep this a secret. To be perfectly honest, this isn't gonna stay closed. Oh no. He's about to break into his Damon Gant clap. Well, well, well. Dear me, my good fellows, dear me. A well-deserved round of applause, I think, for quite a marvelous performance. What are you talking about? These delightful, grave expressions, that beautifully pronounced Queen's English. Really, our friends from the Far East are quite the picture of industriousness. You fraud. Keep your mockery. Please don't misunderstand. It really is exactly as you've both said. What are you trying to say? I have occupied the darker recesses of London's underworld and... How did you put it? Done nothing. I confess it's a little embarrassing to have it pointed out quite so starkly, but yes. I really have done nothing. Which means... I can be indicted for nothing. No. You arranged for murders, dude! That's still murder! You know, like, Clint Van Zeek's was your murder weapon, so to speak. What? It's true. Personally, I have committed no crime. I've merely been surrounded by fools, who've acted very rashly indeed. How about conspiracy to commit murder, times, like, 10? You can't get away with that. You've consistently preyed on people's weaknesses. And what? Threatened them? Are you sure it wasn't just bargaining? Extortion? Blackmail? How about that? You've effectively pulled the trigger, you dumbass. I would like to address all the good lords, ladies and gentlemen of the judiciary here present. You all know of these darker recesses in our great capital. And deep down, I believe you also know I've done a fucking good job, and you want me around, don't you? He's gonna try manipulating them again. That to fight those who dwell there requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. So let me appeal to your good sense now. Consider the situation with me. If this catalogue of horrifying revelations were to become common knowledge among the 6 million inhabitants of London, what might happen? To learn that the infamous murderer of royals and nobles was a respected member of the aristocracy himself. That evidence was fabricated in the scapegoat's trial amid secret negotiations with prosecutors to effect a jailbreak. That the Reaper of the Bailey was an organized group of assassins managed by a Scotland Yard inspector. And finally, that it was all masterminded by the Lord Chief Justice himself. Oh God, it's all too much to bear. If the general public of Britain knew that the truth, all faith in the police and the prosecutor's office would be completely lost, without doubt. Public order in the capital would completely break down. We'd be cast back to the lawless days of the last century. Are you saying he's too big to fail? Precisely. As it was 100 years ago when 1 in 10 of the population were criminals. Think what we've accomplished since then. A public policing force, a comprehensive set of laws. And if we want to continue to protect this new era of law and order, I say again, we must at times occupy the darkness ourselves. I can't wait to banish you to that darkness from whence you came, Lord Strongheart.